just on time. We're just about to go live. Well, how are you? There we go. And we are on. Shawn is in the house.
There we go. Can you hear me?
And we can hear you loud and clear, Shawn.
Apparently, I can't hear you. So hang tight here.
Oh. Let me just check on here.
Kick that over. All right, Grant, say something.
Something. Can you hear me? There we go. Terry Quick is here. She says, hi, Grant. There you go. Can you still hear us, Shawn? Just put, we can hear you, Shawn. There we go. The joys of live.
Says it's good to go. All right, that's good. I can't hear you, so give me just a minute here. I'll figure that part out in just a second.
Yes. Try refreshing. There we go. Try refreshing. Right, so there we go. We'll keep going until we get that. Cool. Hopefully everyone's good. Yeah, Terry's good to hear us both. Hopefully you are well, Terry. I was at an event with cats and dogs this week, so I was really pleased about that. I'm almost ready for a new pet, I think, but we don't know. So yeah, I see Shawn smiling. Can you hear us?
I heard cats and dogs.
Oh, there we go. That was the magic word that must have broke through then, cats and dogs. New glasses?
Yeah, last week. A couple weeks ago.
Yes. Yeah, they're nice, those. They're nice. Cool. Yeah, so we're good to go. How is Shawn?
Shawn's good. Yeah.
Good. How was the show?
The show was really good. There were a couple of technical issues that we had to fight through, but you do what you can. The show must go on, so you improvise, right?
Exactly.
That's pretty much what I did for the whole show, because it was actually the big glitch was my iPad apparently not playing sound. So yeah, so my intro music, my sound effects, everything not working. So you do what you can, and fortuitously, because I've taught middle year school, I've learned how to make a lot of sound effects.
I bet that's an interesting video of Shawn beatboxing.
Well, let's just say that so for those of you that don't know didn't see the ad, it was a combined show. I was doing my hypnosis show followed by a magician and illusionist, and so there were a lot of kids in the crowd. So you also have to keep them occupied and entertained, otherwise they're going to be crawling all over their parents, right? So I was fortunate enough to get actually 13 volunteers up. I kept 3. Nice. And they were really, really good. All 3 of those ladies were really, really good. But I decided to. One of the skits was to get I got this actually from Shawn Michael Andrews on the last Hypnosis Hero podcast. He said, to get the kids involved, give them the power of hypnosis and let them do. So I said, this is great. Okay, so here, kids, this is what we're gonna do. When I point at you, you're going to get the power of hypnosis right in your fingers. So put your fingers up. And so, these little 6-year-olds fingers are up in the air. I said, you're going to be just like Harry Potter. I'm going to give you the power of hypnosis. And the past phrase is 1, 2, 3, focus hypnosis. So if anybody knows Steve Supachana, that's his business name. So the kids were all ready to go. And then as happens with little kids, they don't quite time it right. So half of them kind of half-heartedly said 1, 2, 3, focus hypnosis. 2 of the volunteers fell asleep. I said, you missed one. Well, then it was thunderous in the theater. The 85 kids just yelling 1, 2, 3, and yeah. So,
Nice.
getting the kids involved is always a good plan with that one. And um, like I said, they were great. Forgetting their names, they were stubborn though. All three of them. For me, I always have them not remember the number two,
Yeah.
because if you can push it far enough, how many eyes do you have? How many ears do you have? How many?
Oh yeah.
And then you get into other body parts. So anyway, long story short, they were adamant. They would count 1, 3, 3, and it's like, well, kids, do we count that way in school? And just to bring the kids back into it again,
Yeah.
and no. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
I
That's
mean, overall,
sounds good.
show
Good
was good.
energy.
You know,
Yeah.
we made a quick recovery from the technical glitches, and everything. Everything eventually works out.
Yes, that's the joys of stage work. Sometimes it goes great. Sometimes you have a technical difficulty. It's how you roll with the punches. I did a venue this week, also at the end of last week, which is it's a regular for me. I've done it for 12 years. This place and like all through the season, and so that gave me the confidence when it's not going to be a great show. I know they know it's normally a good show, so it's not too bad. But yeah, I got to the venue, 450-seater venue, 12 people.
Ouch.
And so, yeah, so they were like, oh, you don't have to do a show if you don't want. I went, well, 12 people have come, so I'll try and do a show. And then kind of, it is what it is. And that's what it was.
Yep. Yep.
So it was a challenge, but it's the week before the holidays or the spring break starts here. So I'm back there again this Sunday, and I know it'll be a great show. So, but yeah, the confidence comes from I've been there 12 years, and it's always been a good show. So one is not a bad one, but it was definitely a challenge. And there's nothing more humbling than that drive home when you got like a 4.5 hour drive home after you've done a poor show. You're like, oh, but no, it's all good fun. And then I was back down in Cornwall and a few other places this week, so it's been good fun. It's been crazy. So Terry says she's got hands full with a 5-year-old dog and a 1.5-year-old dog. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of energy there, Terry. So yeah, Casey Picot did her first show this
Yeah.
week.
She
Uh,
sent a message and said it went awesome. She actually
yeah,
sold out her venue, which was really
yeah.
awesome. But yeah, it sounded by all accounts that she knocked it out of the park, which we knew she
What
would, because we've known
exactly?
Casey for a while.
Exactly. She knows her onions as such. But really interesting the fact of it was a 4-wall show. People were buying tickets to that show as well. So that's always challenging. And I think she said that when she went into the changing room, they'd sold 20 or 30 tickets. And then when she'd kind of asked before she went out on stage, it had sold out. So yeah, that's some of the joys of you can go to get changed and the room's empty, and then you come back out and it's full. So
Well, and
that's fantastic.
that's what I found too. Like we knew we were going to have a number of walk up sales.
Yeah,
I think we wound up with about 160 in a theater that holds about 700. So
yeah,
everybody more or less congregated down at the front because they wanted to be part of the action. But uh,
brilliant.
you know, having that all those extra people just all of a sudden show up it's a confidence booster.
Yeah,
Uh, and yeah, you kind of have to sweat it out ahead of time. uh,
that's it. I mean, I've found like ticket sales for shows for events across the board. People since the pandemic just wait until the last minute to kind of get tickets now. So,
yeah,
I've had organisers a couple of months before a show kind of be a bit nervous about ticket sales. I'm like, just ride it out, we'll be okay. And 9 times out of 10, we're good.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, my next show is coming up in May. The Saskatchewan Volunteer Firefighters Association.
That's a mouthful.
So yeah, it's all the volunteer firefighters and their significant others, I'm sure, and
Brilliant.
probably a few other officials from around the province should be there. So that'll be a good one, and I'm looking
Fantastic.
forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah, we've just had the Irish Hypnosis Conference. So I saw Dan Goyette was there. He's messaged me saying what a great time that he had. Sampling the local delicacies. I think he means Guinness.
Yeah, I was going to
Uh,
say, I'm sure that means Guinness. Uh,
yeah, definitely.
I know a few of the people were poking fun at him about making sure that the who was it now? Somebody I know poked fun at him saying, "Now the bar has been set, Dan. So now you got to make Michigan even better."
Yeah, yeah, awesome. So I must admit, Michigan. I'm looking forward to that. It's a great conference. But yeah, so the Irish Hypnosis Conference was just gone this week, and apparently that's now officially the biggest hypnosis conference in Europe. So that is good going for the guys involved in that. I'm going to try and make that 1 year, but again, it's difficult for when you've got shows booked in all kind of year round.
Yeah.
I think the next conference is Heartlands,
Yep.
which is the 25th to the 27th of April. This is in St. Louis. Fantastic. One of my top conferences. Absolutely love it. William and the team there do a fantastic job. So do check that one out. It is absolutely fantastic. And one that I've not been to, but really, really do want to go to at some point is the Pacific Northwest Conference. I've got something in here for that in a second.
Yeah, it was up there.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
There we go. The Pacific Northwest Conference, June the 7th to the 8th. And again, at the smaller conferences, you get to make real connections. That's what I tend to find. The likes of Hypno Thoughts, which is a great conference, is very, very, very busy, and you get to see lots and lots of people. At the smaller, more intimate conferences, you get to spend time with people. So I think that's what's important. How is Hypnosis Heroes looking? When is your next guest?
Our next guest is the fabulous, the funny, the multi-talented Tracy Kanan.
Nice.
I may not have TikTok going for that one. I like my TikTok account, and I know they tend to
Yeah.
filter on some of those things. So
Yeah.
we'll play that one by ear. But we've had Tracy on once before, and she's been absolutely fabulous as a guest. And the amount of knowledge in behind the scenes that she weaves into how she works with her clients, just using humor as a way to break through.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Humor can be hypnotic too.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
And she's such a great communicator. So whether it's a serious topic or something funny, she really delivers it on point as well. So, and she's got some hilarious stories.
Oh, absolutely. And her bio is really short, and it includes lots of words that I know, like I said, TikTok will definitely flag, even if I mark it as an 18 plus live stream.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
absolutely. So I just put this up for Hypno Thoughts, July the 18th to the 20th in Las Vegas. Obviously, it is the world's biggest hypnosis conference. All of your hypno heroes will be there, so do check that one out. And now's the time to get involved, especially if you are budgeting. Now's the time to kind of start booking your rooms and kind of start paying things off and budgeting towards that. But definitely one for getting your name out there.
yeah. Well, we even found that with our conference. The rooms are there one day, and then all of a sudden they just seem to and they're gone.
Exactly.
So, get it as fast as you can. They don't necessarily charge you all of it up front. So,
Yeah.
You may carry a smaller charge until you're actually there. But if you don't go, then, release the room and they'll.
Exactly. And that's it. It's, I think they charge you one night to secure your booking. And it's worth it. Even if you're in two minds about going, it's worth booking it. So when you've got it secured, and then you've got until July to make up your mind.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, when that 1 year that I did go, I did get my room, and I remember it was Lisa Kunschik that said to me, said, make sure you get your room because they go fast. and
Yeah.
there won't be any more. So I made sure to get my room. Then I booked my ticket. Then I, then I made things to work behind the scenes to get there. But and then I registered for Jim's pre-conference talk on badass hypnosis. That's what it was.
Nice. Nice.
I still
It's
have it right there. It says I'm a certified hypnotic badass.
nice. It's I think Jim taught me the importance as well of actually booking the hotel
Yes,
where the
because that
conference
was
is.
the year that he didn't get his room.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I offered. I said, I got an extra bed here. You can stay with me. But we didn't know each other as well as we do now. But I'll tell you, he was really frustrated because
Yeah.
he had all his equipment in the Gold Coast. So he and Shawn would haul all the equipment over to um, the Orleans and then store it in my room.
Yeah.
And then grab it and pick it up and take it back. And it was just Uber ride after Uber ride after Uber
Yeah.
ride, and you can save yourself all that headache by actually just registering in the conference hotel.
Yeah. And again, it's you think you're saving a couple of dollars per room per night,
The Uber
but
rides add up. They do.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's the time lost where you're not networking, where you're not having the conversations at silly o'clock in the morning after the conference is finished. So yeah, all these things make a big difference.
Silly o'clock, is that like after 2?
Silly o'clock is after 2. There's a time.
Well,
Um,
IT time goes until 2.
yes, yes. There's a time when I believe nothing extra happens on the evening. Nothing funnier happens. No new stories happens. But sometimes people, I always used to be the last one to go to bed. As I've got older, I now don't care. There's a point where it's silly o'clock. It's when nothing good happens. Being up at that, and there's no set time when silly o'clock is, but you just know that you're at silly o'clock when it's just that's
Yeah.
when you get up the next day and you're like, what happened? Oh well, there's a funny story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of funny because everybody kind of knows exactly when that time is too,
yeah,
and yet there's still a couple that will push it. And then there's a few that are so far off their regular time zone they'll just go for breakfast. So start
yes,
the day over
yes.
again. Richard.
Yes, yes, Richard Cole at Denny's. It became like an unofficial thing at PHS where it was like go to Denny's at this time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I will say in 2 days' time, Claudia Ricard is doing her Bunny Talk process just down the road from me here. She did it over in Ireland, I believe, and she's doing it at the Queen's Hotel in Leeds in sunny Yorkshire. And so if you've not signed up for that yet, this is a great opportunity to catch that because she's not over this way often. And so a good chance to get that training booked in. So it'll be a good do that, I believe. And I'll just pop that up there. That's the Hypno World magazine. Get involved in this. If you're in hypnosis, a great way of getting articles. If you're not ready for writing a book, write an article, send it into Dan, get it published. Then you can leave that magazine around and your clients can see it and you kind of get that validation as well. So yeah, it's good for social proof.
Yeah, and social media is good, but there is still an opportunity for print,
Yeah.
especially when we look long term. Social media is very fleeting. It's here one day, it's not. You take a look at Facebook. I mean, Facebook Reels has decided that they can't host everybody's
Yeah.
home videos anymore. So they're gonna start deleting all these videos. Well, that's great for Facebook, but if you had an important video and you didn't get it downloaded, guess what? That's gone. Whereas
Yep.
if you have it in print somewhere in the world, somebody's got a copy of it that you can still get to it. Plus, we tend to still trust as people, and this is an education piece that's been in studies for years. We tend to trust print material more than we
Yep.
trust anything else.
Yep.
So somebody wrote it. Well, they must know,
Yeah. And
and unfortunately, it's less likely that people will check the veracity of it. But
Yeah,
at the end of the day, you got a piece of paper that says, "Hey, I wrote this article, and it's been published. I'm a published author." And
exactly.
that's for many people a step above just having a blog on your website.
Yeah. I mean, blogging's great, but
Yep.
there's no tangible value to a blog, really. But whereas if you've got an article printed in a magazine, so great to shout on your social media about that article, if you know what I mean. So if someone's sitting on the fence, they see that you've got a published article in a magazine, it helps raise your profile. It may be the thing that gets you noticed by a national magazine or newspaper. So, yeah.
Yep. And having guest appearances, I actually saw it was Tommy. Um, he just his book just came out. What does he
Yep.
have? He's got media engagements with newscasts and talking about the science of hypnosis.
Yep.
And again, now he's not just writing a book just to write a book. Now he's building the hypnosis community up in the eyes of everybody. So
Exactly.
kudos to him, and we want to have him back. I know on Hypnosis Hero at some point to do a book launch with him as well. So
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously at PHS, and look at that, an updated graphic, 287 days, 19 hours, 30 minutes, and 20. It probably won't be 29 seconds now.
yeah,
Uh,
but
so,
287, like where is the time gone? Like we
oh,
are
I know.
already just about 100 days past the end of the conference.
It's crazy. And so, yeah, it's going to be crazy times as we go into 2026. A good year for hypnosis, I believe. I know, like show wise, my year this year is up on last year, so that's great. And so I think it's going to be good. I'm seeing some new guys posting shows here in the UK. Fraser Penman's at the Gilded Balloon, which is a fantastic venue. And so yeah, it's looking really positive this side of things. We've got no tariffs on hypnosis shows, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is if you do have something that is going on, you have an event you want us to promote, you can send that to us here at Hypno News.
Yeah,
Uh, you know, anything that we can do to help build the community up is a good thing.
yeah,
And promotions are just obviously kind of the tip of the iceberg when it comes to that sort of thing. But again, it's you can say, hey, look, I've been featured on Hypno News. We could even have you on as a guest, and talk about what it is that you do. And
yeah,
all of those pieces are part of every regular newscast. And you take a look at I don't know. I don't even know what the morning news shows are anymore in Canada. I think CTV still has one because I don't get a chance to watch any of the news, and it's probably a good thing too because uh, there's discussions as to just how inaccurate it can be at times. But
mm,
when you actually have somebody on for a live interview, that's about as accurate and as real as it gets.
yeah,
There's no sleight of hand there or anything. So anytime that we as professionals can get out and build up the profession, again, good on us and good for everybody.
yeah. And again, if you've got a book in hypnosis that you want to promote, then if you come on and talk about it, we can make sure the links go out to everybody, and you may sell one copy.
You never know.
Exactly. And so, yeah, fantastic. So, yeah, that is it for me for this week. Again, if you have anything going on in the world of hypnosis, then do let us know, and we'll happy push it out there. And if you'd like to come on Hypno News to talk about something that you are doing that's exciting in the world of hypnosis, then please do get in touch.
Absolutely. Have a good week, everybody.
Take care.
Cheers.